Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dive in.
Today, we're looking at some really cool stuff happening in biotechnology.
Biotechnology, great.
Yeah, we're talking cutting-edge innovations, the kind that's got big players like, Johnson& and Johnson and Bayer sitting up and taking notice.
Oh, wow. So this is big stuff then.
Definitely. We've got two great sources for today's deep dive.
Okay, cool. Lay it on me.
First up, a report from InPart. They connect industry and academic research. They've put together this list of the top 10 innovations that have R&D pros really buzzing.
Top 10. Exciting. And what about the second source?
All right, so the second one, it's like our guiding compass. It's an overview of biotechnology from Park University. It gives us, like the big picture, helps us understand the context of all this cool research that's going on.
It sounds like a good foundation.
Definitely. So ready to jump into InPart's top 10.
Let's do it.
Okay, number 1, get ready for this. Naturally occurring biocompatible proteins for tunable proton conduction. I know, it's a mouthful.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot to unpack.
But stick with me, this one's really fascinating.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's it all about?
So researchers at UC Irvine, they've created this new material. And get this, it's made from proteins found in squid and octopuses.
Squid and octopus proteins. Hold on, are you serious?
Serious.
That's amazing. What do they do with these proteins?
Okay, so the material, it can conduct protons.
Protons. And why is that important?
Well, protons, they're essential for all sorts of things, like fuel cells, biosensors, even medical implants.
I see. So instead of traditional materials, we could have these squid protein components in all sorts of devices.
Exactly.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
I know, right? And it gets even cooler. These proteins, they can be modified using genetic engineering.
Modified. So we can, customize them.
Exactly. Imagine custom designing materials for specific applications.
The possibilities seem endless.
I know, right?
Okay, moving on to number 2, universal plant gene modification for more efficient growth. Now that sounds like something that could have a big impact.
Oh, absolutely. This one's about feeding a growing population and making agriculture more sustainable.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more.
So researchers at the University of Western Australia, they've identified this gene called ENOD93. It plays a key role in how plants use nitrogen. And by tweaking this gene, they can boost plant growth, make them tougher against droughts, and even increase their nutritional value.
So we're talking crops that need less fertilizer, can handle harsh conditions, and are packed with more nutrients.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
I know, right? It's seriously game-changing stuff. Okay, number 3 on InPart's list. Precisely controlling protein expression with RNA therapeutics. Now this one's a bit more sci-fi.
RNA therapeutics. Okay, I'm intrigued, but I need a little bit of a breakdown here.
I hear you. So scientists at the University of Rochester, they figured out how to control protein production using these molecules called antisense oligonucleotides.
Antisense oligonucleotides, I'm not sure I'm familiar with that term.
Okay, think of them like little assassins, but with a good purpose. They target specific messenger RNAs.
Messenger RNAs, those carry the instructions for building proteins, right?
Exactly. So it's like intercepting the blueprints before the protein factory can even get started.
So we can control which proteins are made? Clever. But what's the practical application of all this?
Well, the report highlights its potential for treating heart failure.
Heart failure. Wow, that's huge.
But it goes even further than that. Imagine being able to target proteins involved in cancer, genetic disorders, even neurodegenerative diseases.
That's incredible. We're talking about potentially revolutionizing medicine here.
Exactly. And there's so much more to come. We're only on number 3. Number 4 is a mouse platform with a fully functional human immune system.
A mouse with a human immune system. Okay, now that's just wild.
Yay.
How is that even possible?
Well, scientists at UT Health San Antonio, they've developed this strain of mice. They use human stem cells from umbilical cord blood and got up to 95% human cell engraftment in these mice.
So it's like having a tiny human immune system in a mouse.
Exactly. And this means researchers can study human-specific pathogens and immune responses way more accurately.
So instead of just seeing how a disease affects a mouse, we can see how it affects a human immune system within a living model.
Exactly. This is going to accelerate the development of new therapies and vaccines for all sorts of diseases.
It's mind-blowing to think about the potential here.
I know, right? And we've only just scratched the surface of InPart's top 10. Each one is just as groundbreaking as the last.
Okay, well, let's keep going. I'm hooked. What's next on the list?
All right, number 5. A new tool to produce disulfide bonded proteins in bacteria. Now, this one's a bit more technical.
Disulfide bonded proteins. I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, so disulfide bonds, they're like tiny little bridges that hold proteins together.
Okay, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
But what's the big deal about them?
Well, producing these complex proteins on a large scale has always been a real headache.
So it's like trying to build a skyscraper with popsicle sticks. It's
No.
just not going to work very well.
Perfect analogy.
Thanks.
So researchers at Uli University, they've developed this clever system. It allows bacteria to produce these complex proteins directly within their cells.
So it's like streamlining the protein production line.
Exactly.
What kind of impact could this have on the real world?
Oh, huge implications. Think about it. Drug development, enzyme production for various industries, even diagnostics.
This could be a game changer for companies working on protein-based products.
Absolutely. Now, this next one, I gotta say, really piques my interest. A new strain of E. coli for the synthesis of superior biodegradable plastics.
Biodegradable plastics. With all the plastic pollution we're dealing with, that sounds like a very welcome development.
Tell me about it. So there's this type of biodegradable plastic called polyhydroxyalkanoates, or PHAs.
PHAs, okay.
And they're produced through bacterial fermentation, but controlling the composition of these PHAs, it's been a challenge. And that affects the material's properties.
So it's like baking a cake, but not having precise control over the ingredients. You might get a cake, but it might not be the cake you wanted.
Exactly. Scientists at the State University of New York, they've engineered this new E. coli strain that can synthesize PHAs with a much more controllable composition.
So we can tailor the bioplastics properties for specific needs.
Exactly. Imagine bioplastics that are stronger, more flexible, or even designed to degrade at different rates.
That's amazing. It feels like we're one step closer to a world free of plastic waste.
I know, right? Okay, on to number 7, bacterially derived nanoparticles for selective antimicrobial treatments.
I remember reading about this one. It's amazing how these nanoparticles can target harmful bacteria without harming the good bacteria we need. How does that even work?
Right. It's pretty incredible. So Syncell Biotechnology, they've developed selenium nanoparticles. And get this, they're derived from MRSA bacteria.
Wait, so they're using the bacteria's own weapon against it?
Exactly. And these nanoparticles, they selectively target and kill MRSA infections.
But they leave the good bacteria alone.
That's right.
So it's like a precision strike team, taking out the bad guys without any collateral damage.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And it also reduces the risk of developing resistance to traditional antibiotics. Okay, moving on to number 8. We're back to protein production with a cell-free protein production platform.
Cell-free, what's the advantage of that?
Well, traditionally, producing proteins involve using living cells as tiny little factories. But this can be time-consuming and expensive. So researchers at the Australian National University, they've figured out a way to create these encapsulated cell-like structures. They're called E-cells.
E-cells, okay.
And they contain all the machinery needed to make proteins, but without the limitations of living cells.
So it's like having a streamlined, on-demand protein factory.
Exactly. This breakthrough, it allows for more efficient and cost-effective protein production.
I'm thinking a theme here. Many of these innovations are about optimizing processes and finding more efficient, sustainable ways to do things.
You got it. Finding elegant solutions that are effective, environmentally friendly, and scalable, that's a hallmark of biotechnology's evolution. Speaking of elegant solutions, number 9 takes us into the realm of plant science and dealing with environmental stress.
Environmental stress, that's a big one, especially with climate change making weather patterns more unpredictable.
Tell me about it. So scientists at the University of Pennsylvania, they've identified a gene called GRP8. And when they boost its expression in plants, it increases their resistance to environmental stresses, things like drought and nutrient deficiency.
So we're talking about crops that can thrive in harsher conditions, needing less water and fertilizer. That's huge for food security.
Exactly.
It's amazing to see how biotechnology is tackling these complex challenges.
Well, right. Okay, we've reached the final innovation in InPart's top 10. What have we got?
This one might sound familiar. Genetically engineered plants that resist environmental stresses.
Wait, didn't we just cover that?
You're right. It seems there was a mix-up in our notes. InPart actually has 2 entries for this topic, which really highlights its importance. Both the University of Pennsylvania and A. Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory have innovations in this field.
That makes sense. It's encouraging to see so much research focused on this crucial issue.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've seen the top innovations grabbing the attention of R&D pros, but let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. This overview from Park University, it gives us a roadmap for understanding where all this exciting research fits in.
It's like exploring a vast landscape. We've seen some amazing landmarks, but now it's time to understand the lay of the land.
Exactly. So let's dive into the different branches of biotechnology and explore the incredible potential of this field.
So this Park University overview, it breaks down biotechnology into these key branches,
Okay, like what?
synthetic, agricultural, environmental, industrial, and medical. And what's really cool is how interconnected they all are.
So it's not just a bunch of separate fields doing their own thing.
Nope, not at all. Think of it like an ecosystem where, advancements in one area often like spill over and fuel innovation in others.
Ah, I see. So it's all connected.
Exactly. And a great example of this is CRISPR technology.
CRISPR, oh yeah, I've heard of that. It's that gene editing tool, right?
That's the one. It's a revolutionary tool for gene editing, and it has applications across like multiple branches of biotechnology.
The Park overview mentioned CRISPR, talked about its potential to cure genetic diseases.
It's truly transformative. CRISPR allows scientists to precisely edit DNA sequences.
Wow. So we can actually change the code of life.
In a way, yes. And that opens up all sorts of possibilities, like correcting genetic defects, developing targeted therapies, and even engineering disease-resistant crops.
That's incredible. But I imagine gene editing also raises some serious ethical questions, right?
Absolutely. The Park overview, it emphasizes the importance of responsible innovation in biotechnology. We're talking about powerful tools that need to be used with caution.
It makes sense. I mean, when you're dealing with something as fundamental as DNA, you got to be careful.
Exactly. But let's not get bogged down in the ethical dilemmas just yet.
Okay, fair enough.
Tell me, what else are you curious about?
Well, what about the other branches of biotechnology? Like what's happening there?
Okay, well, biopharmaceuticals and personalized medicine, those are really making waves in the medical field right now.
Personalized medicine, that sounds pretty futuristic.
It is. We're seeing the development of drugs that are tailored to an individual's genetic makeup.
Right.
So, more effective treatments with fewer side effects.
It's like having a medicine designed just for you. That's incredible.
Right.
What about agricultural biotechnology? What are some of the key areas of focus there?
Well, agricultural biotech is tackling some of the biggest challenges we're facing. Food security, climate change, things like that.
Big issues for sure.
Yeah. Genetically modified crops or GMOs, they're a hot topic.
GMOs, yeah, I've heard a lot about those.
They're engineered to be more resistant to pests, diseases, and harsh environmental conditions, potentially increasing yields and reducing the need for pesticides.
So they could help us grow more food with less impact on the environment.
Potentially, yes. But there's ongoing debate about the long-term effects of GMOs.
Yeah, I've heard it's a pretty controversial topic.
It is. It's a complex issue with strong opinions on both sides. So it's important to approach this technology, with caution and conduct thorough research to ensure its safety and sustainability.
Makes sense. So GMOs are just one piece of the agricultural biotech puzzle.
Right. There's also a lot of work being done on biopesticides.
Biopesticides, what are those?
They're pesticides that are derived from natural sources, so it's a more environmentally friendly way to control pests.
Ah, so instead of using harsh chemicals, we can protect crops using natural defenses.
Exactly.
That sounds like a win-win. And what about industrial biotechnology? What role does it play in all of this?
Industrial biotechnology is all about using biology to create sustainable solutions for various industries.
Give me an example.
One exciting area is biofuels.
Biofuels, right.
They're produced from renewable sources like plants and algae. So, they offer an alternative to fossil fuels.
So we could be powering our cars and homes with fuel made from plants and algae.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And it goes beyond fuels, too. Industrial biotech is leading to the development of biodegradable materials like plastics made from plant starch, to help reduce our reliance on petroleum-based products and minimize waste.
It sounds like biotechnology is poised to transform countless aspects of our lives. But with all this innovation happening so rapidly, where is it all heading? What does the future hold?
The Park overview highlights some key trends, like artificial intelligence and machine learning. They're playing a bigger and bigger role in biotech research, helping scientists analyze huge amounts of data and speed up the discovery of new therapies and materials.
So AI is like supercharging biotechnology.
Absolutely. Another really cool area is bioprinting and tissue engineering. Imagine being able to print functional organs using 3D printers.
Print organs. That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? The technology is still in its early stages, but has the potential to completely change medicine, like offering new hope for organ transplantation and even repairing damaged tissues.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. It sounds like biotechnology is on this incredible growth trajectory.
It is.
So what else should we be keeping an eye on?
Well, investment trends are a good indicator. And according to Biotech, there's been a surge in mergers and acquisitions in the biotech industry.
So big companies are buying up smaller biotech companies.
Exactly. It's a sign of the industry's maturity and its growing importance in the global economy.
Sounds like there's a lot of excitement and momentum in the biotechnology space.
Definitely. Biotechnology is poised to transform countless aspects of our lives, from the way we treat diseases to the way we produce food and even the materials we use every day. It's a field that's constantly evolving, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Well, after this deep dive, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling incredibly inspired. It's amazing to see how human ingenuity is being harnessed to solve some of the world's biggest challenges.
I agree. It's a testament to the power of scientific exploration and the boundless potential of biotechnology.
If biotechnology can already achieve all this, just imagine what incredible advancements the next decade holds. It's a future worth getting excited about.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in learning more, I encourage you to check out the resources mentioned in this episode. There's a ton of information available online and through organizations dedicated to, advancing biotechnology research and education.
That's great advice. It sounds like we've only scratched the surface of what biotechnology has to offer. It's really amazing to think about how all of this stuff, biotechnology is changing so many things around us. Like we've talked about everything from those, what was it, squid-inspired materials?
Yeah, the squid proteins.
Right, squid proteins, and those bacteria that make eco-friendly plastics.
Right, right.
It's all pretty incredible, but I guess what I'm really wondering is like, how does this affect, everyday people?
That's a great question. I think the impact of biotechnology is going to be felt in both big ways and small ways.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Like take personalized medicine, for example.
Yeah.
We might see a future where doctors can prescribe medications that are specifically designed for your genetic makeup.
Wow. So like medicine made just for you.
Exactly. It would maximize effectiveness and minimize side effects.
That would be amazing. Okay, well, what about food? Like, how will these innovations change what we eat?
Well, biotechnology is playing a crucial role in food security and sustainability.
Okay.
Think about those genetically engineered plants that can resist drought and pests.
Yeah.
They can help us produce more reliable crop yields even when the weather is unpredictable.
So even with climate change and all that, we can still grow enough food.
Exactly. And with all the advancements happening in agricultural biotechnology, we might even see crops that are more nutritious and require fewer resources to grow.
That would be fantastic. So it sounds like biotechnology is really important for a more sustainable future then.
Definitely.
Okay, but what about the cost of all these innovations? Will everyone be able to afford them? Or will it just be for, like, the wealthy?
That's an important question, and it's something that researchers and policymakers are really thinking about right now. The goal is to make these advancements as accessible as possible.
So everyone can benefit.
Exactly.
Okay, well, it sounds like the future of biotechnology is incredibly bright.
It is.
We've seen how it can improve healthcare, agriculture, even the way we produce those everyday materials like plastic. What are you most excited about?
Personally,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really fascinated by bioprinting and tissue engineering. Imagine being able to print functional organs for transplantation
Mm.
or creating personalized grafts to repair damaged tissues.
Wow, that sounds straight out of Star Trek.
I know, the possibilities are really incredible,
It's like science fiction is becoming reality.
right?
Crazy.
And as biotechnology keeps evolving, we can expect even more groundbreaking discoveries and innovations in the years to come.
It's definitely an exciting time to be alive. Well, that's our deep dive into biotechnology for today. We've covered the cutting-edge innovations, the vast potential of this field, and the incredible impact it's having on our world. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Until next time, keep diving deep.